We will jump into group by. I'm going to skip this because this one requires more time. Okay. And group by and fuzzy grouping, it will not take much time. Hence, I will jump into group by. So what is group by? What is group by? In SQL, we do group by, right? So why do we need to do group by? What kind of scenario we do group by? So in the case of SQL, you must have used the group by, right? In simple term, using group by, we can present the data in summarized form. Not all the time we need a transaction level data. We don't want to see the daily data all the time. And especially when it comes to the senior people, the top level stakeholders in your company, right? They want to see the summarized form of the data. Give me the total sales by month across the region, across the segment, across the category or subcategory. I want to see it. They want to see everything aggregated value. They don't want to see the transaction level. I'm not interested in seeing day-to-day data, day-to-day transactions. I'm interested in saying, give me the bottom line. So how much sales we made across the region, across the quarter, across the category or segment, you give me that. Okay, so with the help of group by, we can present the data in summarized form. What we do as part of group, what group by does is, it groups the rows that have these similar values to get the summarized data. For example, you have something like North region, East region, South region, and West region. You do your business across the 4 regions in India or in USA. North region, you have 1 million transactions or 1 million invoices you generated, and East region, approximately, you have 2 million, the transactions, invoices you generated. And similarly here, right? So if you see the transactions or the invoices generated across each region, it's all in terms of millions. It doesn't want to see each and every transaction or the invoices. Instead, in North region, you tell me how much sales we made in terms of dollars. Okay, so here, North region, we made $100K. Okay, here East region, we just did $108K. This is the one, the summarized value. But if you take your transaction data, right, so North region, and order date is, the Jan month, Jan 26, or again North region, Jan 27th, and again North region, Jan 26, another invoice. It's the same day, multiple invoice generated. And similarly, East, West, something like that. When you use group by on this region column, this is my region column. When you use a group by, what happens is, it groups the rows that have the similar values. For example, here I have the another record, which is North. Here you have East in between, and Jan 26, and here Jan 25th. So here what will happen is, when you use a group by on the region column, it groups all the rows that are similar. So all the rows that have the similar values in it. North, 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 North. Okay, because you are doing group by on region column. In that case, it groups all the rows that have the similar value in the region column. So in the case, what will happen is, the North, all the records that have the North in it, it will get grouped separately. And then it applies, for example, in your query, you have used some function, aggregation function. And on this specific day, you just made 101, 2002. And this is the sales in dollar, okay, in each invoice, right? It will apply the sum on this column, sales column. Okay, and then it gives a total thing for all the 4 records North put together. What is the total sales we made? Here, let's here 100, and here let's say 200 and 300, because it's a little bit in a non-readable thing. Here I just rewrite it clearly, and here you have 150. All the North region, you have the sales value. If you have used the sum as an aggregation function, it apply the sum on this grouped records. So, how 500, 600, 750. In the North region, we made $750, something like that. It groups the similar rows based on the column. So in this case, region, okay, group by region. So it groups all the values that are similar into a the separate group, okay. And similarly, east, west, if you have multiple record, it doesn't. So what if I have, if I wanted to do group by on more than one column? For example, I have the country column and then region column. In this case, I wanted to do group by based on the two columns, country and region. The same rule. For example, you have USA and North region, and again USA North and USA South and USA East and USA North. Okay, in this case, what will happen with the combination of these two? All the USA and North will get grouped together, and then it applies sum on the sales column. Let's say you have a sales column or quantity column, and the South records will get separated. For that, if you have more than one record with the combination of USA South, it groups that records into separate thing. And the East also the same thing. It applies the sum on this one. Hope you understood, right? What is group by? Now we will jump into Power BI desktop, and then we will take a look at how we can perform group by. What I will do is I'll just close this and apply. Here in this file, we have a lot of things are there. Okay, I just close this because it will take longer time to process it. In the interest of time, I just close this one to open another Power BI desktop. Now, fresh report file got open. Here, what I do is I'll just click on the get data, and I'm going to say AGC sales.csv. This is the file. I'm going to load it. Even this file have a less number of records. Look here, you have the country ID column and region column and quantity and sales. I just hit load here. There are some issues are there in this data set. When I just eyeball it, you can make out quickly. Look at G or G. So these two records belongs to the Germany country, but there are some problem with the coding standard here, right? So the naming standard. For in some, for this record, they use it, GE to represent Germany, but they have used GR here to represent Germany. Okay, and here USS. Actually, it is US. This record belongs to US, or they would have mentioned USA, but in this case, US is mistakenly. It's a typo. Okay, typo. They put additional yes here. There are some data issues are there here. Anyhow, we will just load this data and then we will see how we can handle it. Now this file got loaded successfully, and if you go here, we can see the data that are available as part of this file or table. Only we have few columns because if I put huge volume here, but anyhow, I will give you the other files that one have more data. Okay, you can play around with it. Okay, more number of files will work with multiple files, and even SQL Server and the combination of these two, how we can do it. All the things we'll take a look at it. Okay, don't worry. And here you can see all the columns, right? The country ID, region, policy, sales, and these are the things. I just go to switch to the report canvas, and I'll just go here the transform data, because you can perform group by in your Power Query editor only. But you can use DAX function to perform group by. But in Power Query editor, how we can do it? Using DAX also you can do group by, but if you use a group by in a table or in a measure in DAX, it will perform the computation on the fly. Okay. Instead, if you pre-calculate the aggregated values and if you make it as part of your data set itself, your report visuals, right, the charts will get refreshed in a pretty fast manner. That is the difference. Okay. Look here I just select the transform ribbon, and if I click on the group by here, there are some data issues there. I just go here, and one way is what you can do is you just right click and replace it now itself. Replace values and USS by US. Okay, and here I just right click on it and then replace values GR by GA. We are done it, right? So we are done it. Good. So very simple one. But if you have millions of records, you need to click on this drop down. You need to go and check. And if you again like company like large retail chains, big box retailers like Walmart and Target and Amazon, they have their presence, e-commerce presence across the globe, right? So you will have many countries will be there. Difficult to find out. Millions and millions of records will be there. Okay, in that case, difficult to find out where the problem is there, right? So sometimes when you try to take a glance at the data, everything seems to be all right. But only when you scroll down, right? So the 10th page, you can see there are some issues. It's painful finding out. There could be chances due to oversight. You might miss out giving the proper naming standard, or right, so naming standard, naming convention, you might tend to forget to specify that. Okay, in that case, what will happen is the value will get splitted. For example, in this case, USS, whatever the records that are relevant to USS will get grouped together. and US records, related records will get grouped separately. Actually, the USS and US groups should get combined together because of the naming standard, wrong naming standard used by different region people. What happens, the data will get split. End of the day, it will not show the accurate result in your visual. If you do anything manual, you might tend to miss out certain things, like I said here, okay? And so what we do is we have another option called fuzzy grouping, that we will discuss it later. That is very specific to Power BI. Which one? The fuzzy grouping. Now we will go with, we'll start with the simple group by, like how we do it in SQL, the same thing, how we can do it in Power Query. We will take a look at it. And next one is I just click on group by. That's all. I did some kind of data cleaning now. And then what I do is I just go here, group by, the basic thing, okay? And here what I do is I just selected the country. The default one is the first column, okay? And I'm going to specify the column name. For example, I just say total units sold. And here the operation is the aggregation function. You can see different aggregations, some average, median, min, max, count rows, all the things. And the all rows is somewhat different, right? You might not have heard about it. Count rows, right? With that, we can find out in each country how many number of transactions are there. Count distinct rows. For example, you're using a row ID, sorry, order ID, right? So for a single order, customers would have ordered multiple products in a single order. So in that case, let's say you have ordered 5 products. Each product, you can see that along with each product, you can see the order ID, same order ID will be repeated. So in that kind of situation, if you want to find out total number of orders, better you can go for count distinct rows, okay? And this one, the sum, we'll start with the simple one, sum. And the next one is which column you want to do the sum, quantity column. Okay. And I'm going to hit OK now. Look here, it did the aggregation, grouped all the values. In US, we sold in total 18 records. Australia, we sold 17 units in total. Is good. And the next step, what I'm going to do is I wanted to include the sum of sales also along with this. For that, again, you don't have to go and click on this one. Here, what you do is next to group rows. Can you see it here? You can see this wheel icon. If you click on it, it will open up the group by window here. And here you can select the advanced option. Here, you add aggregation, select add aggregation. Here I say total sales. And then I will just select the sum here, and here I just say sales. And I'm going to hit OK now. So you will get the total sales displayed across each country along with the units sold. Very good. Okay, what I do is, okay, this is not sufficient. And what I do is I just go here. And I'm going to include one more thing here. Total records. Count rows. Okay, here you don't have to specify anything column because table level you are counting the number of records. But again, group by each country level you're doing group by. So you are not doing any column here. Okay, you don't have to specify the measure. You are not going to perform any aggregation. Count itself a function. It takes the total number of records from your table. So if I hit OK, I can see that in US 4 records are there and 4 transactions happen. Australia. And again, I'm going to extend this analytics further. So the next one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add aggregation. This time, what I'm going to do is itemized transactions. Here, I'm going to use something called all rows. Here, nothing selected. I'm going to hit OK now. When I selected the all rows, it shows table here. It shows table. Instead of the value, it shows table here. So what I do is, see in the first record, for this first record, right, and next to the table, I just keep the cursor here and then I just click on it once. It gives you the itemized transactions for this specific record. If you wanted to know what made up 18 units, so if you get the detailed records, if you add this values 10 plus 6, 16 plus 2, 18, right? And then this one, the total says, how did I get 23,138? Can I get to see the detailed transaction? Or if you can I get to the granular level and take a look at each and every transaction that belongs to US. When you look at this like this, you will get to see that in US East region, we made more sales. Okay, and similarly, in the US East region, we made South region, we made more sales. But if you see here in the East region itself, we have another record. So 5 plus 2, 7, 8,700 plus this one. So with this, we can conclude the top sales we made in the East region of US. But this one gives you the rolled up total. Right? The 23,103 is a rolled up total for all the all the 4 records put together. Now you can get the breakdown, right? So with the help of all rows function, you can view for each and every record summarized value. Along with that, you can see the transaction level data also. When you keep the cursor over here, you can see it here. You can see it here. You can see it here. Got it? So this is what the advantage of this one. And then if you click on this double arrow here, the transaction level data will get, will be made available along with this data. For example, if I click on this and I'm going to unselect this one, look here. Again, now it become a total thing. So if you see here, and if you sort and region, sort ascending, all the East. And if you see here the transaction value for East, each and every transaction. Along with that, if you see the East here, the total units sold and total sales, you can see it here like this. Total sales is 23,138 in US East region. But here, okay, let me do one thing. Here I just, here also I will do the sorting here. And US, if you see here, okay, US East region, if you see here, and 23,138, it is repeating it here, right? So US East region, and but it gives you the transaction level data also, 8,000 plus 2,000, 10,000, and this one plus another record is the East region in US itself. And okay, this gives you the total value, all the regions put together, because I did not use the combination of these two. Next, what we will do is I'll just go and do the group by on both the columns. Here I'm going to click on add grouping. Here I just give a region here. I'm going to hit OK. Now, if you see here, and in the case of US East region, I just select only the country ID US. It did the group by on the column level, and here if I select this value, yeah, I don't need all this. Okay, let it be there. And if you see here, two US East region, we have 2 records. And if you see on the left side, yes, 7 in East region, 7 is there. 5 plus 2, 7. It repeats for each and every row. Okay. For each transaction, along with each transaction of US and E, with this East region, with this combination, it displays 7 repeatedly. 7, 7. And similarly, in the case of US South, we have only 1 record, and the North, we have only 1 record. Fine. In this case, what happened? It considered these 2 columns as similar values. So USE, it grouped it 5 plus 2, 7, and 8,000 plus 2,000, 10,000, and 11,000 and odd. Look here, 11,000. This is the one repeats because we have more than one transaction is there here in US East region. So you can perform group by on more than one column. But if you ask me what is the limitations, how many number of columns we can use it, I think you can, there are no limitations here. Okay, but again, it depends on your system capacity. Okay, okay. But normally we don't do group by on 100,000 or 1,000 columns, right? When it comes to analytics aggregation, maximum you will be doing it 5 or 6 columns. That's all. Or the combination, country, region, quarter. You will be doing maximum, right? 3 or 4 or 5. Practically speaking, we don't use 100 columns of 1 lakh thing. You can use it as many columns as possible as part of your group by. Any other questions? So hope now you understood how you can perform group by in Power Query Editor. So what we will do is the fuzzy grouping tomorrow will explain because today being festival, right? My relatives are, just now they arrived. So what we will do is we will continue tomorrow, and another thing is many people they dropped today, they did not join because festival. So what we will continue the fuzzy grouping tomorrow, and then query parameter will continue. And then if possible, we'll take a look at the SCD type 1 and type 2 tomorrow session. So how many of you are aware of SCD type 1 and type 2, type 3 and type 4? That is also an important thing. Okay, you should be aware of it. So that is also commonly done data transformation. That also we'll take a look at it tomorrow. Okay. Any questions as of now? Yes, these files, whatever I covered, I will just share it to you so that you can refer this file and then you can practice it by watching my video. Okay. All the data files, hope you have downloaded by now. In case of any data file missing, you just get back to us. We will and start work on the assignments in my website under Power Query Editor. So if you want to go the literal flow of this training program, right, you can go by this one, right? Instead of see the course content, whatever you see it now, if you go and check it now, we have updated it, but still I need to review it. And here, the previous batch, when you click on it, this is the flow. But in this batch, we are covering more. OneDrive also, how to connect to OneDrive, GitHub, everything. And here the data files, look here, the quizzes are there. And if you see here in the Power Query Editor, so what all the topics, detail level, you can see it here. This is the flow I'll be following it. Okay. Merging data sets. Yeah, this is the one pending. Tomorrow we'll look at the merging data set and appending data sets. And then we'll explore this feature tomorrow. Okay. And creating index these topics. Okay. And we'll be covering it. And even the fuzzy grouping. And the case study, if time permits, we'll see it tomorrow. Otherwise, next weekend we will look at it. And the incremental data refresh also we'll cover it next week. But if you see here the Power Query assignment, you can start work on it now itself. You don't have any dependence on the subsequent sessions. Okay, we can get started now itself. When time to look here, when you click on this assignment, on the right side you will find the document here, the exercise, and then the data set, you can find it here. When I click on download, look here, the file gets downloaded here. When you open this, you will find more than one files here. Let me check. Multiple files are there. Okay, this one will give you an idea about how to work with multiple files, because when it comes to analytics, you'll be most of the time you'll be working on the star schema. In the star schema, dimension tables and fact tables. When here we have multiple fact tables are there, so you need to append all these fact files into a single fact, sales fact, and then the sales returns. These are the dimensions. Okay, you just give it a try, see if you can. But again, it is a little early to start work on this, and because I need to cover the data modeling part. Okay, after seeing the data set only, I can realize this one. After data modeling, you are all set to work on this one, because you need to create the relationship between the tables. Okay. And if you see the data also, right, the volumetry is more, reasonably more. Okay, it's on par with your adventure data work. Okay, adventure works. All right, since you don't have any questions, we will continue the session tomorrow. Better you can go by this, what order am I going to cover, right? And this is the order we'll be following it, okay? And tomorrow we will take a look at the merging the data sets, appending, and the query parameter, index. And yeah, so again, I will not go exactly the flow how. And in case of any dependency, obviously I'll make sure that first I will complete the topic which has dependency on the subsequent chapter. Okay, but here yes, we will get some clarity, okay, with this. Anyhow, the course content, whatever is there in my website, that we will once again will review it and then we'll update, because some issue with the file crash, some issue happened. Our people, they updated hurry barely. Okay. Okay, since you don't have any questions, I'm going to wrap up the session. You can check the videos probably after 1 hour or so. Okay. Okay, see you all in tomorrow's session, same time. Meeting invite remains same. Okay, bye-bye. Take care.